Hello and welcome back to another Blu-ray update video. The first one for 2020, the first one for a brand new decade. This is my January 2020 Blu-ray collection update video. As usual, I feel like I haven't really bought much, and then I look at the pile and I go, oh, I have bought a few things. The first one I've already shown, so I'm not going to really blather on about this one too much. It is, of course, the Twin Peaks From Z to A complete collection box set. I've done an in-depth unboxing video of this and the first part of my thoughts on the set itself, so you can see me talking about this for just about an hour, I think. So yeah, this has been pretty well covered. Very excited to have this in my collection. I've been very much enjoying going through the special features, the new special features presented in this box set. It has everything. It has all 3 seasons of Twin Peaks the movie, all the missing pieces, literally, and lots of new bonus content. So for a Twin Peaks fan, this was pretty much perfect, and I'm very happy with it, even if the packaging on the inside is more unnecessary than it is functional, I think. There's just certain parts where it could have been a little bit better, but it is what it is. So, on to the actual Blu-rays you haven't seen me talk about. I have a fairly decent-sized selection here of quality titles, I think. We got some Eureka, Arrow Video, Premium Collection, 88 Films, and Kino Lorber. Wow, this is quite a vast selection of the boutique labels. So the first one I have is actually a brand new release. I think it just came out a couple of weeks ago. And this is the Kino Lorber release I was just mentioning. That is from one of my favorite directors, I think, Rian Johnson. Which is really interesting because I've only seen, or at the time of buying this, I'd only seen 2 of his movies, which would be Looper and The Last Jedi. Actually, no, 3 movies. I'm forgetting about Knives Out. So, Rian Johnson, kind of a controversial figure, I suppose. We're all over that now. All that Last Jedi stuff is in the past, and now we're just looking at the future and his Oscar nomination for Knives Out, in which he will definitely lose in a couple of weeks' time. But I'm very happy that he got the nomination for Best Screenplay for Knives Out. But I'd never seen his first film, Brick. So this is available. You can buy Brick anywhere, but this is a brand new release from Kino that features a 4K restoration, a brand new 4K restoration supervised by Rian Johnson himself. Audio commentary with Rian Johnson and a number of members of the cast and crew. 8 deleted and extended scenes and another little featurette. But yeah, I've never seen this. They showed it to us in college when I was doing TV and film production. The tutors were very high on this film. It had just come out. Actually, this is a 2005 film. And did I start college in 2000? I did, yeah, because I had the year missing. So 2005 was the year I started college, and this had come out, and the tutors were very high on it. They were using it as an example of film noir, which we were learning about at the time. And this is going to be one of those like weird Mandela effect things for me, where I'm certain that we are supposed to go to a screening of this at a local art cinema, and there was going to be a Q&A with the director. Now, this might have been like a filmed Q&A, or he might have been there in person. I have no idea. And I'm always wondering if that was kind of something I invented in my head. But there was definitely a screening that I didn't bother going to because I was too busy wrestling or something stupid like that. But I've never seen Brick. I've seen some of it. I think I watched some of it on TV and was a bit bored by it. You know, this is way back when I was a teenager and not too patient with films of this nature. But yeah, as far as I know, a girl dies and that's about it. So this is one to maybe hold on to for a marathon. But yeah, really looking forward to checking out this now, especially since I just watched Rian Johnson's second film. I showed this in an update last year, I think. This is a Korean edition from, I don't know what company released this actually. It's just a Korean special edition of Brothers Bloom. So me and Connie watched this the other night, and I love this. So this is Rian Johnson's second film. Now all I need to do to complete the filmography is to check out Brick. So very much looking forward to kind of going back to the beginning for where it all started for one of my favorite directors. And I have actually listened to, like, I think it's like a 3-hour-long 2-part podcast with Kevin Smith and Rian Johnson talking about just getting Brick made, and it's so inspiring. So yeah. I got 2 in the very short-lived 2 for £15 deal in HMV for the exclusive, the HMV Exclusive Premium Collection range. Not many that were really grabbing my attention. I've got quite a few of them. A lot of them would just be things I wouldn't be. They'd be complete blind buys with not much interest either way. But these 2, purely by the actor alone, drew me to them instantaneously, and it is Harper and is it The Drowning Pool? So we have The Drowning Pool and Harper. Now, I didn't realize these were actually two connected movies. So Harper is a movie from 1966, and it stars Paul Newman as a detective, I guess, called Harper, I'm assuming. Yes, he's a sleuth who chews gum fast and slips out of jams ever faster as he unravels a twisted case of kidnapping and murder. Paul Newman, detective mystery, you know, I'm all in. But this, The Drowning Pool, is from, I think, a couple of decades later. Oh no, 1975, so 9 years later. And it says, Private Eye, Lou Harper. Lou Harper? Where did Harper come from? I'll leave that one in for free. Private Eye, Lou Harper is in deep this time. So Paul Newman returns as the quick-witted detective he first played 9 years before in Harper. So we've got two detective movies here starring one of my favorite actors of all time. Absolutely. I mean, you know, there's a vintage featurette on one of them, a commentary on one of them by some screenwriter. So not really getting these for the extras, but just for the films themselves. I mean, 2 for $15, that's like £7.50 each. So yeah, at some point I'll maybe I can do another Paul Newman marathon. I've done most of the big ones, so maybe not, but yeah, definitely looking forward to getting to those at one point because I love me some Paul Newman. Now some Masters of Cinema stuff. I've been really dipping back into picking up some of these Masters of Cinema titles, I have to say, and that they're announcing some killer things recently. They just announced Kaidan and Rio Grande, I believe. So they're getting these big films now, and they seem to be really going to these limited edition Masters of Cinema releases. I think they're selling a lot better than the other ones, so I think they're putting more money into them to make them more collectible and sellable, and I think people are snapping them up a lot quicker than the other ones. But this one is a slipcover release. A slipcover release. What a twat. I just said that, didn't I? This is a release that has a slipcover, which is the only important thing about it. And I wasn't sure if I'd shown this in a video before, but I think I got this like in the first week of January. And it is The White Reindeer. So this one really appealed to me. I think the slipcover was going out of print, so I ordered it direct from Eureka, and luckily it had the slipcover. And this is a 1952 film from Finland. You know, as soon as they announced this, it really intrigued me, like a Finnish film, just something they don't really, you know, with Masters of Cinema, it's usually American stuff or German stuff, or, you know, they have a certain kind of well that they keep going to with their titles, and a kind of Finnish film from 1950, which apparently dabbles in kind of horror. It's a vampiric fairy tale, combining almost documentary filming style with avant-garde experimentation. Oh, there's a typo on the back of here. They spelled experimentation with 2 I's at the end. So there's a little bit of a... why is my brain collapsing? A little bit of a typo there. I was going to say tempo, a little bit of a tempo. No, a typo there on the back of the Blu-ray. So this has a 4K restoration completed in 2016, has an audio commentary, a new audio essay by film journalist and writer Amy Simmons, a 1947 documentary short from the same director, Eric Blomberg, color test footage, and a collector's booklet. So really nicely stacked release. I've read mixed things about this on the Blu-ray forums, but definitely one I will want to check out just because it's something different, you know, like a Finnish film from the 50s. So yeah, The White Reindeer. And this is spine number 203 in the collection. I got another Masters of Cinema one because I knew this would be going out of print at some point, so I decided to kind of get in there quick while I could, because I really do like these new hardbound, you know, tough cover releases they're doing, but also it's one of the great directors. We have A Fistful of Dynamite, or Duck You Sucker. So this is Rod Steiger and James Coburn in A Fistful of Dynamite. Oh, I've only just noticed now that the top end is kind of crinkled and dented and crunched. That is a little bit of a shame, but it is what it is. I'm letting those things go more and more these days. It's a very nice hard box set with I guess it's like a 60-page book inside, and all sorts of special features here. We got 2 versions of the film spread across 2 Blu-ray discs, including a transfer from the 2K restoration completed in 2009. Original mono audio on both versions, original Italian audio on the Italian version of the film on disc 2. I mean, there's all sorts of different things going on here, and it's not a film I'm familiar with, so I can't really go like, oh, they finally got this version released on disc. But 2 versions of the film, and it is, of course, from Sergio Leone, and a haunting and rousing score by iconic composer Ennio Morricone, who is, you know, again, one of the all-time great composers. So this looks like it could be fun. And, you know, Sergio Leone, he certainly knows how to direct the hell out of a Western. So, yeah, this looks like it'll be good fun at some point, and just a really, really nice deluxe release from Eureka. Now we have an 88 Films release. I saw this in HMV for like a really good price. I think it was another 2 for 15 deal, but it didn't have the slipcover. And the only reason I go to this is because I have all of the other releases in this line, and they all have slipcovers, so it looked really nice on the shelf, but it didn't have it. So I thought, okay, I'll ask someone. I asked the guy working there, do you have any more of these in the back? And he's like, nope, what you see is what you get. And I'm just like, okay. Couldn't even look for me. Okay, all right, so there's no slipcover. So I thought I'll order it from HMV online and hope for the best, and I did get one with the slipcover. It is Jackie Chan 88 Films release, Snake and Crane Arts of Shaolin. It's a bit of a mouthful, that title. So I have the 3 other releases. I think it's To Kill with Intrigue, Dragon Fist, and Battle Creek Brawl. I think those are the other 3. Maybe there's 5, I don't know, but this is the 4th one I didn't have. So this was in a 2 for 15 deal, and so I got it for, again, £7.50, very good price. I don't know anything about this one. I'll definitely watch it. It's Jackie Chan. This comes with a 2K new restoration of the film. Lots of different subtitles in English, Mandarin, Cantonese tracks, some interviews, stills gallery. I mean, they're really picking up their game with Jackie Chan stuff, 88 Films, but these initial first releases are still really good, I think, and they have, like, lobby cards on the inside as well. I think I opened it up and had a look, yeah, so, yeah, this is from 1978. I'm interested in the kind of earlier Jackie Chan films before he became, like, such a brand presence, and kind of, you know, I mean, his 80s stuff is unparalleled, but I enjoy seeing him where he's not, you know, the star of the show, and you kind of see the glimpses of his kind of brilliance kind of eking through. And so the final title, no, there's 2 more things to go. So this is the second one I got with Snake and Crane Arts of Shaolin in the 2 for 15 deal. There was a lot of things I was interested in, what should I throw in there to make up the deal. But this is one I've been looking at for quite a while, and thought I'd just pull the trigger on it. It is Horror Express, an Arrow Video title. So for me, you know, I'm not a huge fan of Hammer horror films. I do enjoy them. I don't think this is a Hammer one, but it, you know, it has Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, and probably came out in the 70s, I'm assuming. Oh, no, 1984. That's a lot later than I thought it was, actually. That's really interesting. Oh, so this is like post-Star Wars for Peter Cushing as well. 1996, 1984, 2005. So this is a 1984 film then. Really interesting. Is it really 1984? We've got Terry, what's his name? I always forget how to say his last name. Kojak. His name's not on the back. Come on. Where is it? It's got to be, yeah, Terry Savalas. Okay. I always think it's Salvalas. Terry Savalas. Yeah, okay. This felt like it would be 60s, 70s, not 1984. Regardless, it's a horror film starring Peter Cushing, already in, starring Christopher Lee, double in, set on a train. Take my fucking money. You know, I love films set on trains, and, you know, it's kind of a common joke of mine if I'm watching a film and there's a sequence set on a train, I'll just go, this is my new favorite film of all time. I'm just so I'm so drawn to and gravitated towards. Gravitated towards, that doesn't work as a sentence either. I'll leave that one in for double free. I'm so drawn towards, and I gravitate towards movies set on trains. Whether it's primarily or entirely, I love it when it's a whole film set on a train, but if there's like a big stretch, love it. So, Horror Express, don't know too much about it other than it's the characters trapped in a location with a monster of some kind, and it's a train. Perfect. So it's a Spanish-British co-production. There's a boatload of special features on there. So, yeah. Horror Express. And the last one just came in today, and it is January 31st. This is truly the end of my January Blu-ray update. And this one, I ordered a few weeks ago. It was out of stock, but it went down in price to a really good price. So I just put an order in, even though it said it would be a few weeks before it arrived, and it came earlier than it was slated to be. I think it's still out of stock on Amazon, so I don't know how it turned up, but cobwebs. Oh. Drop Dead Fred. One of my favorite childhood films. Have you seen that meme of, I think it's like a little Kermit the Frog puppet just like looking at his phone, and then that's me right now. This is me with Drop Dead Fred. I remember my first ever friend, Matthew, who lived above me. This was the first house that I lived in where I was fully aware of my life being, you know, I was cognizant of what the world was, and that was the first house that I kind of grew up in. And it was, I think it was a maisonette, but we had like people above us as well. It was a full house with 2 floors, but above us was another set of, you know, all you know, apartment blocks everywhere. And the boy who lived above us had dropped the toy down into our garden, and he came down and said, "Can I get my toy back?" And I said, "Oh, there's a boy roughly my age who lives above me. Let's become best friends." And we kind of became best friends for a very short period of time. And you know, I'd go up there and you know, watch films. I don't remember much really, but a really vivid memory I have is sitting in his bedroom eating cereal and watching Drop Dead Fred. And I think I eventually got this on video, which is ridiculous. When I mean, I must have been like 5, 6, 7 years old, and this is it's a fairly adult film at times, I have to say. I mean, again, cobwebs, you know. So this is like, you know, Rick Mayall trying to make it in America, and it didn't quite work out for him, unfortunately. There's a good, well, not a good, it's kind of an awkward interview with Letterman. Rick Mayall went on the David Letterman show, and you're just seeing these two guys who are very funny. Both have a great sense of humor, but they're just not, they're completely missing each other, and it's just, it's brutal. But it's kind of like, it encapsulates how he didn't make it in America, I think, and this movie really could have catapulted Rick Mayall into stardom a little bit, but it didn't work out that way. But he's a legendary, you know, British comedian. Passed away a few years ago, very sadly. It was really gutting when that happened. I love Rick Mayall from The Young Ones and from Bottom, and I think he did a voice in one of the Wind in the Willows movies as well. I think he did. Maybe he was Toad. But I've always loved Rick Mayall, and this is where it started, really, was Drop Dead Fred. And this is such a, I don't know, it's such a charming movie, and I have no idea if it'll hold up whatsoever. This might be abysmal watching it now. I also love that Princess Leia was in it, Carrie Fisher. Phoebe Cates, always had a bit of a crush on her, and yeah, there's just things from this film just pop into my head every now and then. The one that seems to stick with me the most is, "Hey, I'm your fella, Annabella." Yeah, like, that's a line that just for some random reason pops into my head every couple of years. I'm like, oh yeah, Drop Dead Fred. So this is a 25th anniversary edition release. This came out a few years ago. And this is actually pretty stacked with special features. There's an audio commentary with the director, and I think these are all new featurettes filmed for this release. A conversation with the director and producer, interviews with the co-writers and executive producers, an interview with actor Marsha Mason. It says the mega bitch speaks out. The mega bitch! And Drop Dead Look. Interview with director of photography Peter Deming, who is the David Lynch's cinematographer of choice. So that's a really interesting connection I never would have made, is that David Lynch's kind of trusty cinematographer did the was the director of photography on Drop Dead Fred. And then there's also some deleted scenes and an alternative ending. So I'm looking forward to seeing these special features, I have to say. But just revisiting the film again is going to be really interesting. But there you go, Drop Dead Fred. If you've seen it, let me know what memories you have of this film, because it's one I deeply cherish, and I hope that it stays that way after I end up revisiting it. So there we go. That has been my Blu-ray update for January of 2020. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans of Carlin into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you, 'cause